feel very content after today's session. I enjoyed it a lot. I ended up being just in the environment for a long period of time today. I got all my work in pretty efficiently. Very efficiently. And then followed it up with just some interesting conversation, really. And I learned something really interesting, which I'm very, very excited to get to grips with, understand a bit better, use a bit better. I played with it a little bit today. You may see a clip or two of it, but I don't think you will in this video. Played with it a little bit today, and that was a friend of mine at the gym. He explained to me the importance of keeping your hands narrow on the high bar back squat, because I showed him my 140 fail, and we could both see like where my hip slightly gives way. My back didn't quite give out, but I was just lacking tension throughout my entire body. And he noticed that my hands were really wide on the bar, which is something I've just always done, due to lack of understanding and lack of knowledge, being in the grand scheme of things, like very new to this world. I always had my hands fairly wide just for comfort reasons. It was just always more comfortable. And he explained to me the importance of keeping them narrow, because it makes it a lot easier to lock up your back and keep loads of bloody tension in your thoracic spine. And wow, Jesus Christ. He explained it to me. We were messing around with the bar and whatnot. At this point, I'd done all my session pretty much. I was just doing some like mobility stuff to warm down. I was doing some duck walks, which I haven't done in years, and they felt really good actually. Anyway, so I was watching him do his lifts. We was chatting, shooting the shit, whatever. And he got under the bar. He showed me what he meant. I tried it with just the bar and was like, holy shit. It feels like a different exercise in many ways. It feels like a completely different exercise. Now, whilst I always aim to engage my lats and keep a lot of stiffness throughout my upper back when I squatted, I didn't realize how little stiffness I was keeping due to how wide I was keeping my hands. And I'm not immobile to the point where it's a problem for me. Like I was very comfortable in the uncomfort of keeping it narrow and keeping my back engaged, which was honestly it felt like I had unlocked a new DLC or something. It felt crazy. It felt amazing, to the point where I ended up just doing some quick singles at 60 and 100, and it just felt amazing. Honestly, it felt amazing. I felt like I could keep the tension throughout my entire body with considerable ease. Like I didn't really have to focus on it too much. The only cue I really had to focus on was keeping my back nice and flat, and avoiding any butt wink, because by this point I was getting quite cold. But because I've been playing with a lot of unilateral work today, I felt fairly mobile. So yeah, like damn, and it got us talking. Like it got us talking about the importance of in many ways being yourself in the gym and just in life in general. However, not shying away from being inspired. And like I've always felt like there's a very fine line. I was talking to my brother about it the other day. There's a fine line between being inspired by someone and being infatuated with somebody. As soon as you flirt on the side of infatuation is when you stop being yourself, really. Personally, I've experienced that in the gym, especially. Not necessarily from anybody that I've known, but from my biggest online inspiration, which is the Squat Everyday guy, as he's commonly known, Ivan. I found myself, at times becoming infatuated, to the point where I wouldn't really be training for myself. I would kind of just be training like him, because I want to be like Ivan, so to speak. you know, like when you're a kid, like you always look up to athletes or, I don't know, singers, whoever, anybody. Everybody's always looked up to somebody. Yeah, and we were talking about the importance of making sure that you always stay on that side of inspiration, because the person in question, he's a big inspiration for me at the gym. I'll be honest, he's early 30s now. He's been training for 7 years. He started when he was my age, 25, and fuck me, is he inspirational, man. The guy is in amazing shape, and he can move some serious weight extremely well. Like personally, I'm somebody who finds form the most aesthetically pleasing thing in the gym. Like, I'm more impressed with your squat if you're squatting 60 kilos like Klokov or Lou, for example, then like I'm admiring you and I'm going to be inspired by you far more than the guy who's squatting 100 but going to, I don't know, 90 degrees. That's just me. Like, I just admire, I admire that Olympic lifting squat. I'm still a long way away from it myself. I digress. Where was I? Yeah, he's a big inspiration for me. Been training 7 years, started when he was my age, and watching him move the weight, the way he does, and he's powerful. He's a powerful guy. He can move the weight with speed as well. That's actually something that I definitely want to get more in tune with and look into a bit more, especially on my squat. As I alluded to in I think yesterday's video, I need to get comfortable moving at speed, because I'll be real, like, I've always been a power athlete. I've always been a powerful athlete. I was a sprinter when I was younger, so I've always gravitated towards more power sports, and in grappling as well. I've always been considered an explosive grappler. So that's definitely something I want to play with, and he's a big inspiration for me in that respect. Big inspiration, because it's all well and good like looking up to somebody online and admiring them from afar and being inspired by them from afar. But when you see somebody in the flesh actually move this weight in a way that speaks to you, amazing form, and powers through that range of movement, oh man, it's a sight to behold, bro. I could sit there and watch it all day. Like, I sat there and watched him do his compound list for what, it was a good 45 minutes or so, and I gained a lot from it. Because what did I gain from the conversation? I learned this key datum about the high bar back squat, which I'm excited to sink my teeth into, along with getting back into unilateral work. Now, funnily enough, I was looking back through my logbook, and a little while before making these videos, I did spend a good few weeks focused on unilateral work, and I was essentially only training legs, like, unilaterally. And I remember it feeling really good. The main proponent of that being what the knees over toes guys coined the ATG split squat. I spent a lot of time last year doing a lot of his stuff, and I'll be real, like, it helped me a lot. As somebody who has a lot of imbalances due to playing sports my whole life, specifically football, it's important, man. This stuff's really important, and I've kind of, just due to being a bit foggy and a bit clouded by this whole quad discomfort, I've been a bit all over the place recently, jumping from here to there, trying to find a quick fix after quick fix. But when I look back, like, the reality is the squatting and the variance of the squat. Because now, whilst I've committed to squatting every day for a period of time to see if I can alleviate this discomfort, along with doing a lot of mobility work. To me, a squat is any variant of the squat, whether it's the front squat, high bar back squat, low bar back squat, which I was talking to my boy about today. Which is something that, judging by what he's telling me, I should definitely experiment with. You've got the single leg squat, or the Bulgarian split squat, whatever you want to call it. You've got the knees over toes guy split squat. There's so many variants to the squat. There's so many different ways you can play with it that can benefit you. And doing unilateral work is gonna, always be super beneficial to anybody with any imbalances, because you can hide so much in a squat. I think it was a Squat University video that I was watching not too long ago, and I forget his name. I think it's Dr. Aaron something. He was talking about how in a squat, like, we're human beings. Like, we are the most adaptable creatures on planet Earth. And our body has an amazing ability to hide weaknesses in just a normal high bar back squat, which is why it's extremely important to work on unilateral work, because you will expose weaknesses. Like today, when I was doing my Bulgarian split squats, oh my God, my right leg in comparison to my left leg is incredibly unstable. I could rep 50s with fair ease with my left leg, but then as soon as it comes to my right leg, shaking everywhere. Like, you think there's a fucking earthquake going on where I'm at. It was crazy. But at the same time, it shows the importance of balancing out your body and working on your imbalances in order to improve everything else. So yeah, it was real nice to get back in touch with that. And yeah, I think I'm going to put a fair bit more emphasis on the unilateral work, especially whilst I'm trying to improve mobility and nurse this discomfort, because especially that knees over toes split squat, it's honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the most amazing movements ever. It does everything. It opens you up everywhere you need to be opened up for the squat itself. And again, due to the unilateral nature of it, it exposes all your imbalances. Works on one side at a time, which I really enjoy working on one side at a time, because yeah, man, it opens your mind to the fact that there really is two sides to your body. And depending on how you spent your whole life sitting or playing this, that, and the third, you will realize the weirdest imbalances, the weirdest ones. But yeah, man, it was an inspirational day, to say the least. It was fun. But again, if you made it this far, thank you very, very much. And I'll see you tomorrow. That might actually be fucking game changing.
Yeah, I'm telling you.